What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 9:27 a.m. Tuesday night. I'm sorry, 9:27 p.m. Tuesday night, July the 1st, 2025 year of our Lord. I don't get where I got 9 a.m. from. I'm just tired, guys. I'm out of it. Brain dead right now. I just woke up from a nap, man. Got home. I got home probably about 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere around in there. And Mama Tank had just finished up cooking. She cooked breakfast tonight, and I made the mistake of, after I got out of the shower, I laid down on the couch for a minute or two, and that was it. I say a minute or two, that's all I remember, laying there for a minute or two, and then I woke up about 30 minutes ago. And one of those things, it catches up to you. I'm one of those guys, I don't require a whole lot of sleep. I've got to have something to do, because if I get bored, I'll drive I got the hiccups. If I get bored, I'll drive everybody crazy. But I'm also one of those guys, man, if I sit down, if I sit still, it's over. It's over. You can put an X on me, man. I'm done. But and that's what happened. I laid down, was looking at my phone, and then I woke up around 9 o'clock, and I had stuff to do, man. I did. I had stuff to do. I had to get some blades sharpened. I'm going to bed in about 2 hours. I'm not going to do it right now. It's done gotten dark, done gotten late, and I live in this neighborhood. My neighbors are right on top of me. I don't want to piss nobody off by out here beating and banging and grinding. So I'll wake up early in the morning. I'll get up at 5, and I'll get out here, and I'll shut the door on the garage, and I'll sharpen some blades in there. I'll sharpen a set for each mower, and then or really just the 36. That's the only one that needs blades on it right now. Guys, I am tired. I cannot stop yawning. But when I get done with that, I've got to take the driver's side tire off of my trailer and take a look at it. I think I'm probably gonna have to plug it, man. I've got a plug in every single. I've told y'all before, man. I have plugged so many tires this year, just all the roofing nails all over the place, and it's not the roofers' faults, man. They're running magnets over these yards. I've been watching them do it on several properties, and but it's just one of the things, those nails, they get caught up in the grass and tangled up and everything, and all of them don't come out. And then not only that, they throw all that debris into those dump trailers and haul them to the dump. Nails will slip through the crack, they'll slip through the cracks on that door and all that good stuff. So it is what it is, man. It's just one of those things. It's part of the headache that you got to deal with when you're running a business. And it's not just me. We're all dealing with it around here right now. Ever since that hurricane that happened at the end of September last year, ever since then, man, we're just, golly, 90% of the roofs around here are getting replaced, or either have been replaced, or in the process of being replaced, or are going to be replaced. Just whenever the roofers can get to it, man. Everybody's so backed up because of that. I mean, even the tree guys around here are still doing their fair share of work, But yeah, it's one of the things, man. Just got to deal with it, take it on the chin, and it could be worse, And but I'm gonna take that tire off tomorrow. It's my fault, I have nobody to blame but myself. Monday, I woke up Monday morning, came out here and load the trailer up, and noticed I had a slack tire. There was only like 20 pounds of pressure in that tire. And last Monday, not yesterday, I was like, what the hell? So put some air in it and checked it Tuesday and Wednesday. Didn't notice anything, it looked fine. And even with all the equipment on the trailer, it still looked fine. And then Thursday morning, sure enough, I woke up and had a slack tire. Again, had about 20 pounds of pressure in it. And I put some air in there and told myself I was gonna check it when I got home to see what was going on, see if there was a nail or something in it, and forgot all about it. Got sidetracked with my family, my wife and kids, and forgot all about the thing. And then yesterday morning, got out here, same thing. It was low, except it had a little bit less air in it this time than what it did Thursday. And I told myself that I was gonna take that tire off of the trailer, because my fender wells are so tight to the tire, I can't really see what's going on. I can't see, can't feel or anything. I can't stick my fingers up in there to see if there's a nail, and I can't see anything in there. So I said I was going to take the tire off and check to see what was going on with it, see if I could find the leak and try to fix it. Yesterday, I forgot all about it. I set a reminder on my phone for 7 o'clock tonight to come out here, pull that tire off of the trailer, take it into the garage, and either look for a nail or put some soapy water on it or something to see if I could find a leak. Lo and behold, I fall asleep on the couch and didn't even hear that reminder. I'm gonna wake up first thing in the morning, guys, and I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna get up at 5, and I went ahead and got a shower tonight, and that'll be a little less time that I have to spend in the morning. But I'm gonna get up at 5 in the morning, drink a cup of coffee, and get my act together, and get out here and get this stuff in gear, man. I really need to stop procrastinating. And I don't normally do that, man. I normally get all my stuff taken care of on Fridays or either Sundays, one of the two. And if I have a problem arise throughout the week, I normally take care of it right then, man. But I just simply forgot. I did. I have been running nonstop, wide open. And the life of a solo operator, man. You guys has been doing this for any length of time. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It gets rough during the middle of the summer, man. It gets crazy. And it ain't gonna do nothing but get crazier from here on out. But also today, I was on a property today. I was mowing with the 61. And that's the only mower I used today was the 61. I'm sorry, I did use the walker once. Here we go yawning again, man. I can't get over that. I did use the walker on one property today, but used the 61 for most of the day today. And I've got the advanced chute system on there with the handle extension on there that rises up. It's about eye level with you, that we can just reach out and grab it and pull it open. And the spring on that chute blocker, that advanced chute system, is worn out. I need to get a new spring for it. Well, today I had it closed because I can't remember what I was going by, either a driveway or a bed or a car or something. I don't remember what it was, but I had it closed for a second and went to go open it up. I heard it slam shut real quick, and the handle was still in my hand. And I looked down, I done broke the handle off of the chute blocker, and I was gonna weld all that back on tonight too, but yeah, I may have to wake up at 4 in the morning and get all this stuff done, man, because I got quite a bit that's got to get done. And I don't even know what kind of metal that is. I haven't looked at it or anything like that. I'm hoping that it's steel. I'm really hoping that it's steel, something that I can weld. If not, I'm gonna have to tie a string to it and rig it up until I get something else figured out. But you know, I said whenever I bought the green guard for the 36, I said that I was gonna eventually replace that advanced chute system with another green guard for the 61. And I'm thinking it might be a good time to do that. But at the same time, man, I really just don't want to spend no money. I can't remember how much I paid for that green guard. I want to say it was like $300 or $400. It may not have been that much. I don't remember, but I really don't want to spend no money right now. I am so sick and tired of spending money. I really am, man. And I know You got to spend money to make money. I get it. That's part of business. But man, it seems like every day. It seems like every day, no lie, something's happening. And guys, I have plugged so many tires this year. Every tire on my truck has a plug. Both tires in my trailer have a plug. Both tires on the 61 have a plug. One tire on the 36 has a plug, and the other one has 2 plugs. This trailer right here, if I have to plug it again, that's going to be plug number 2 for that tire. And I'm hoping that's all it is. I'm hoping it's just a nail in there that I can yank out and shove a plug in there. Which, speaking of plugs, guys, I know a lot of people go on Amazon and buy those $50 and $60 plug kits. Man, look here. I don't know how many plugs come in those things, but go to O'Reilly's Auto Parts and buy the $14 plug kit. It comes with 10 plugs in it. And I'm telling you right now, I have not had a single problem with any of those plugs at all whatsoever. And, you know, a plug is made to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to plug a hole. It's in the name. The plug is to plug a hole and keep air from seeping out of that tire. Well, occasionally you get some raggedy ass plugs, man. I have bought $30 and $40 kits that had 7 or 8 plugs in them, and you plug that joker and it leaks, and then come to find out you're supposed to use 2 plugs. Well, these plugs right here, I've not had a single problem with them. I know it seems like a little thing, just a little old plug, but if you're in the market for plugs or just need to replenish your plugs, and I highly recommend if you don't have any plugs, man, go get you some plugs, because you're going to have a flat tire sooner or later. Whether it be a mower tire, a trailer tire, a truck tire, whatever it may be. And you should have plugs on hand for everyday use anyway. Just as if you're a vehicle owner, you should have plugs. And don't get me started if you don't know how to plug a tire, man. If you don't know how to plug a tire, don't get me started on that. I'm going to question your manhood if you don't know how to plug a tire, man. I just am. But funny thing, my helper didn't know how to plug a tire. I had to show him how to do it a couple months ago. And good kid, man. He really is. Which he don't work for me no more. I had to let him go. But good kid. He just raised up in the suburbs, man. You know how that goes. These kids over here in Columbia County, boy, they don't know how good they got it. But yeah, get you some plugs. Go get those cheap plugs, the $14 set from O'Reilly. They're good plugs. They hold up. And I haven't had a single problem out of them yet. But anyway, I've dealt with a lot this year, man. I've you know, I had issues with my helper. He's no longer with me. I'm not going to get into what all went on and why I had to let him go, but I decided that in order for us to maintain a good relationship, I'm good friends with his mom and dad. They live right across the street from me. And I decided that in order for us to maintain a healthy, good relationship as friends and neighbors, the best thing for us to do is part ways. So I had to let him go. And because things were getting they were starting to go south, and I didn't want it to get any worse. So I nipped that in the bud. And he understood, and everything's good. But had issues with an employee. If you've been watching me at all this summer, you know the amount of rain I've dealt with. And it's supposed to rain tonight, but it's not supposed to rain much. Which right now, it's hot enough right now that it is going to have to be a significant amount of rain to keep me from doing my job. Because time that rain touches the ground, it's pretty much dried out. As hot as it is right now. And it's so damn dry too. And we're still getting rain. You know, it's rained every day this week, but it's just been a little bit of rain here and there. I say every day this week, you know, it's only Tuesday, but since Saturday, it's rained every single day this week, which is a good thing because we need rain, but we just don't need torrential monsoon rains, you know what I'm saying? But it's so dry that everything's just going straight into the ground and you can't even tell it rained. And a lot of, when it touches pavement and sidewalks and all that stuff, it almost dries out immediately. It's been so hot. But so yeah, do have a few yards that are experiencing burnout, but the good news is that's why I say don't sneeze at the idea of having monthly payments and contracts, because when you're under a contract, if that yard's burned out, man, you're getting paid regardless. You can find something to do on that property. If all you're doing is going out there picking up pine cones, show up, do something for 20, 30 minutes, however long. But I've had a lot of mechanical malfunctions, a lot of God, I don't need to say nothing about vehicles, but a lot of equipment breakdowns. My combi's in the shop right now. It's getting a new carburetor for it. That carburetor's on back order, and the 131. I've got the 91 in the shop right now, but the 131 is at the dealership to get a new carburetor put on it. And it's like Buster Davis said, man, you could have fixed that yourself, Tank. Yeah, you're right. I could have fixed it myself. I'm tired of working on shit, man. I really am. I've been working on stuff every day, it seems like, and I'm tired of it. So I'm gonna spend that $130. I mean, the carburetor's $60. I figured I'd spend another $60, $70, let them deal with it. And that's what's gonna happen. And I'm not in dire need of the combi right now anyway, so it is what it is. But dealt with all that. Mowers, you name it. I mean, belts, golly, just stuff tearing up. I mean, blades, you name it. And but the good news is, man, is we're still rocking and rolling. I'm out here every day, cutting grass, trimming bushes, doing my thing, and I'm doing a little bit of side work here and there on Fridays. And I picked up a new customer this morning, and my wife asked me, she said, how are you gonna, I sat down and I looked at the schedule. I thought I only had room for one customer, but I actually have room for 8 customers. I can pick up 8 customers right now. One can go on this week's route, and the other 7 can go on next week's route. And that'll put me working till 6 o'clock. And I want to make sure that I'm working 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, before I hire some help. I really don't want to hire no help this summer. I really don't want to. There's some stuff that I want in place, and there's some stuff that I want to get done, and some stuff that I want to take care of financially before I hire another helper. The previous helper I had, I learned a lot by having him. A lot of things that I was not prepared for and that I did not see beforehand. It's one of those things, you live and you learn. And so it was a good thing that I did have help earlier this summer, because I learned a lot by having help. And so yeah, there are some things that I need to get into place. I want to get some things paid off. I want to have a little bit bigger. I want to have more capital in my account. And another thing you've got to realize too, if you're going to hire help, sooner or later that help's going to milk the clock. There ain't no way around it, man. That's just human nature. You can micromanage them all you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you start micromanaging every single thing, coming from somebody that stepped out of the corporate world into my business, I don't like somebody breathing down my neck, and other people don't like that either, man. So you've got to try to remember where you came from and remember what it's like to work for another man. That sooner or later, you got to take a break, man. You just got to take a break. You can't go nonstop for 10 hours straight. The only break you get is when you're sitting in the truck riding from property to property. You can't do that, man. You got to take a break. You got to relax for a few minutes. You got to soak up some AC, get something to eat, get something to drink, check your phone, check your emails, your voicemail, your text messages, all that good stuff. Call your wife, your girlfriend, your side chick, your baby mama, whatever you got. You got to do all that stuff throughout the day. And it's unhealthy not to do that kind of stuff, to just relax for a few minutes. And yeah, helpers are human too, man. They can't just go nonstop when it's 95 to 100 degrees outside and not take a break. You can't expect that of them either. So, and I guess you can't really call that milking the clock. That's taking a break. Now, if you got a helper that's sitting in the truck for 30, 45 minutes on the clock, yeah, that's an issue. But 5-10 minutes here and there, you got to expect that, man. But and you need to be prepared for that, because that's extra time you're going to have to pay your employee. And you've also got to take into consideration windshield time and all that too. So yeah, I want to have more money in my bank account, my main bank account where my capital is. I want to have more capital before I hire another employee, man. Just to be prepared. Like I said, I want to get some things paid off. And there's also some more equipment purchases that I would really like to make. I would like to have a dump bed insert, and I would like to have a work truck with the dump bed insert, and I would also like to have a dump trailer. And I also need a new landscaping trailer, whether it be an open landscape trailer or an enclosed trailer. I need another trailer, and I'm seriously considering getting an 18 or a 20-foot trailer, not a 16. And I'm just weighing out my options here, man. I don't 20's big, it really is, and I'd like to have another truck before I buy a 20-foot trailer. But there are some things that I need to have in place before I hire another employee. If I have to bite the bullet and hire somebody before all of that has been taken care of, it is what it is. If you're in a position where you have to hire an employee, you're in a pretty good position. If you need help, you're in a good position, because you would rather be someone that needs help because you have so much work than somebody who is just sitting around the house, work till noon, barely getting your bills paid. You don't want that. And trust me, as tired as I am right now, being tired is a good feeling, man. It really is. That means you out working and earning your money. It's like I always say, man, if them blades ain't turning, your ass ain't earning. So, yeah. But dealing with all that, like I said, there's some things I want to get in place before I hire somebody. But if I do need to hire somebody, I will. I'm not above it. And I just really don't want to right now. I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. And also, man, I've done 8 quotes in the last 2 weeks. Somewhere around in there, week and a half, 2 weeks. And I done one quote last Wednesday, and the guy accepted the quote when I was standing on the property with him. He said he was good with everything I told him. And then when I texted him and asked him for his email address and all that good stuff so I could send everything over to him, he just simply texted me back and said that he was going to pass on the service. I was like, wow, you could have told me that up front instead of wasting my time, but it is what it is, man. That's part of it. You win some, you lose some, and I'm high. I'm high. I'm a high-priced service provider, and I understand that, and I'm prepared for that. You're not going to win them all. I have a low closing rate. My closing rate is a little bit lower than what it should be, but that is strictly due to my high prices. And I am under the firm belief that if you're going to be out here busting your ass every single day in 90 to 100 degree weather, then you need to be making top dollar. Because if you're not earning as much as you possibly can earn in your business, then what are you doing? Simple as that. If you're not making as much as you can physically make, then why are you doing it? If that's the way it's going to be, why deal with the stress? Why deal with all the maintenance? Why work and worry and wonder 7 days a week when you can just go get you a 9-to-5, a corporate job with benefits, making somewhere between $20 and $40 an hour? Whole lot less stress. That's the way I see it. But yeah. But anyway, including the 2 that I did today, I've done 8 in the past 2 weeks, and I picked up one first thing this morning. Everything's good to go. She's gonna start service next Wednesday. She fired her previous service provider, and evidently it got really ugly. And because they promised her that they were gonna do this, and this, and I got out to the property and it looked mighty rough. And she asked me if I had some photos that I could show her of some work that's done. And she asked me this, what was it? She asked me that Sunday. It was Sunday evening. I talked to her, and she asked me if I could show her some photos of work that has been completed, just so she could see some of my finished work, to see the finished product. And I directed her to my website. There's plenty of photos on my website, but I've also got stuff in my phone as well. And she wanted to see some of the equipment I had too, because evidently this company told her that they were going to bag her lawn, and they don't even own a mower that is capable of bagging lawn clippings. So I showed her a picture of my walker as well, and so she felt very comfortable. And I've talked to her several times, and it's set in stone. We're going to start Monday. She's already signed the contract, or not Monday, Wednesday. She's already signed the contract, and she's already got a bill date and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's the way we're going to do that. So I did pick that one up, and it's a really sweet lady too, really sweet lady. And she had just made a gallon of sweet tea before her husband went off to work, and that way her husband could have some sweet tea before he went to work. And she offered me a glass of iced tea, and I turned it down, of course. I love iced tea. I do. I love sweet tea, but I can't be drinking that stuff, man. Not while I'm out here working. I'll die out here drinking tea. But it sounded good though, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you, that sweet tea sounded good. But also, I'm about 99% sure that I just picked up a commercial property too, another commercial property. And that's something I'm really trying to get into. I've had a commercial property before up on Bobby Jones Expressway in Augusta, and it was one of those things, where they just went with the lowest bidder. I had that contract for a year, and once the contract was up, they went with a lower price, and which was fine by me, because I was kind of tired of doing that property anyway. It wasn't ideal, especially for a solo operator. So is what it is, man. And but this property right here, it seems like it's gonna be ideal for a solo operator. As long as I get the contract, I'm gonna start the very first service on Saturday morning. Typically something like that I would do on a Friday morning, but I'm not working Friday, man. It's the 4th of July. And if I get rained out at all this week, I'm pushing everything back to Saturday. I'm not working Friday. That's something I just absolutely refuse to do in my business, is work on a Sunday or work on a holiday. I'm not doing it. But yeah, so I am going to work Saturday morning. It's a dentist office. The property is probably about 1.5 years old, and very nice property, very, very nice property. And I've noticed over the past, I'm gonna say probably the past 3 or 4 months, man, it's been looking mighty rough. It's been looking rough since the spring. It really has. And the company that installed all the landscaping and everything, they're really good. I know some of those guys, and they do an extremely good job. And they don't skip anything. There's no shortcuts. They don't bury a whole bunch of stuff, no construction debris or anything like that. They don't hold nothing back, man. They're very expensive, but they do an extremely well job. And when they are done, that property is all but perfect. And they're one of the best in the area at what they do. And I got to noticing about 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, good night. what the hell is going on with that property? It looked like ain't nobody been on there in about 2 months. And I've seen the people out there, the guys out there working. It's a bunch of young guys, the lawn maintenance company that was taking care of it. And there was a bunch of young guys out there taking care of it. Well, they just evidently quit showing up. And it's a company, a property management company out of Wisconsin, and out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm not going to get into the name of it or any of that. I don't want to be no name dropper or nothing like that on YouTube. But he told me, he said, I'm going to send you the scope of work and the property outline, you know, the boundaries outline, and I'm going to send you the budget. And just let me know if that's good, if you're good with it, and we'll go from there. And I went to the property when I finished up everything. I got to the property probably about 5:45, 6 o'clock, somewhere around in there, and spent a little bit of time on it, man. There's a lot of trash on the property, like tangled up in the bushes. You can tell that nobody's pulled the trash out. The bushes ain't been trimmed in a while, and but it's one of them things, you know. It's going to take some time to get it cleaned up, but once it is clean, it is going to be super easy to maintain. And something I've learned over the years with commercial properties, I kind of got away from dealing with commercial properties a little bit, just because of the simple fact that they don't, you know, your bigger commercial properties like your Walmarts, your CVS's, your grocery, you know, your big chain accounts like that, they're 9 times out of 10, they don't care what that stuff looks like, and they're gonna go to the lowest bidder. They're just trying to keep from getting some kind of ordinance violation, is all they're after. And but these smaller companies, independent companies, they're wanting their stuff maintained and they want it to look nice. And so a lot of times, if you look at the budget is actually more than what the quote is that you were going to give them to begin with. I have had that happen. And now that doesn't mean call them up and be like, hey, we're going to, just say the budget's $400 a month for a doctor's office. You might total up your quote or whatever, and it might only be $250 a month. That don't mean go out there and quote them $400, you know. Try to come in up under that budget if you can, you know, because you will give yourself a bad reputation by ripping somebody off like that. Just because they have a high budget, that don't mean you can take up all of their budget, because there's a lot of things they got to fit in that budget. You never know. You might have to come across, or you might come across a pipe just froze up and busted. You may have to chop down a tree, remove a shrub, something. You never know. So try to come in under that budget if you can, as long as it fits your price range, you know. Don't sell yourself short. And that's something else I recommend too. You know, a lot of times these commercial companies, they will tell you that they're waiting on other bids. You know, they've got you and just say 9 other companies out there that's submitting bids, and they're going to go with the best bang for their buck. They'll tell you that in order to get you to lower your price. I have noticed that, because I have given people an astronomically high price, and I have also given people prices above their budget and won the bids. So stick with your price. Don't negotiate. They're going to try. It's their job to get you down. Okay, it's their job to get you to lower your price so they can save the customer money. And normally whatever they can save the customer, they get that added to their bonus. So keep that in mind. But I messaged the guy. I told him, I said, hey, I'm good with the scope of work and I'm good with the budget, the price. You're actually about $15 a month more than what I was going to tell you. So Instead of $325 a month, we can go $310 if you're good with that. And he told me, he said, that's fine. He said, just let me know if there's anything else you need. So he sent me the W-9, the all kinds of different stuff. Sent me the app, the directions on how to use it, all that good stuff. That the Yeti app. If you guys do commercial work, you probably know what I'm talking about. But but I did ask him. I said, how long has it been since the property's been serviced? He said it was supposed to be serviced last week. He said, why is it look like it hasn't? I said, if I'm being honest, it don't look like nobody's been on this property in 2 or 3 months. And he said, can you go by there tomorrow? I said, I can't service it tomorrow. I said, but I can swing by there. I said, I live right up the street from it. He said, if you don't mind, swing by there tomorrow and send me some pictures. He said, I'll pay you for your time. And so I'm not worried about him paying for my time, but I'm gonna send him some pictures. And but when I got off the phone with him, he called me back like 10 minutes later, and he said, hey, he said, if I pay you an extra $200 he said, if we can get an extra $200 for the initial cleanup, he said, would that be sufficient enough for you to get the property in a maintainable condition? I said, yeah. I said, and truthfully, he didn't have to do that because it's year-round work, and I'm going to make plenty of money. And I was looking at it as I don't have a helper that I have to pay per hour to be on this property. So, but I'm gonna make an extra $200 on it, and it's gonna be year-round work, and with the opportunity of renewing the contract in January. So yeah, things are looking up, and like I said, I am trying to get into the commercial side of things. I've already got one. I got the Domino's Pizza up in Harlem, Georgia, and I'm pretty sure I picked this one up. I'm about 99% sure. I'm waiting to hear back from him in the morning. I had to send all my bank info over to him for ACH, and had to fill out a W-9 and scan it and send it back to him. And everything should be good though, and I'm sure he's probably gonna need a POI and all that good stuff. So but we'll get everything sent over to him in the morning, whatever he's needing, and get started on that thing Saturday. Not looking forward to working Saturday, but it is what it is, man. It's gonna be more year-round work for me, and I like year-round work. I really do. And that is something that has been a blessing in my business over the past year. And another thing I want to talk about, guys, my contracts, all year I've been doing $200 a month, and but what that's been doing is it's been covering mowing, edging, weed eating, is on top of leaves, on top of bushes, on top of pruning ornamental trees. All of that has been complete property maintenance. Starting next year, I think what I'm gonna do, everybody that I have right now, I'm gonna leave them alone, leave them just like they are. And 90% of them, their prices aren't going up. As of right now, their prices aren't going up because I'm making very good profits off of these customers. And but I think what I am gonna do next year is I'm gonna drop my minimum down to $135 a month, and that's gonna be for mowing only. And if they want their bushes done, now don't get me wrong, it's gonna be fair. If they've got a couple of bushes, 2 or 3 bushes that ain't gonna take, but it'll take less than 5 minutes to trim them and blow it out and mulch it up, I'm not gonna charge them extra for that. But it's gonna be for mowing only, and I'll give them a price for everything else. And just be instead of giving them a price up front, I will give them a price when they're needing it done, and go from there. And the reason I'm saying that is because I was telling Buster Davis last week down at New Hope Cuts, And I know I drop his name a lot. Sorry, Buster. But you all know who New Hope Cuts is, man. He's a good guy down there in South Georgia, or Middle Georgia, wherever it's at. But I was telling him, man, I've been trimming a lot of bushes. All my bushes are once a month. And golly, I've been trimming some bushes here the past 2 months. I'm talking about just trimming and trimming and trimming. And that's a lot for one person. It really is. And I'm not wanting to work till 6 o'clock every night. If I got to, I have to. But I'm not wanting to. And it's starting to become a job now. And one thing we have to remember, we don't have jobs, we have a business. And this is becoming a job now. And I was thinking about it. Even if I hire another person, if next year goes like this year is, I can't expect a helper to come out here and trim bushes every single day and work till 6, 7 o'clock every single day. You can't expect that. So I'm going to nip that in the bud. It's going to be 130, 135, something like that. I have to look at the numbers and see. And anything else will be extra. The 130 will be for mowing only, for a certain amount of services every year. And anything else will be extra, of course. And I'm probably going to introduce that next year and just see how it works. Hopefully it'll work out for me. If it does, it does. If it does, great. If not, it is what it is. I've got enough right now that are on contract. I might have to go back to pay per service. We'll see. But the thing right now is, man, I'm just trying to avoid having to trim a buttload of bushes every single day, because that can be kind of cumbersome. But and I know this is a long video, guys. I ain't gonna keep you too much longer. But another thing I want to address is, man, there's some videos going around, a lot of drama on YouTube right now. I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that, but you've got some people on here that's got some new guys on here that are saying this is an easy business and giving business advice when they don't even know the business. And but then you got some people on here that are responding to that with burn videos, just putting the people down. And I don't agree with any of it, guys. You really need to stay in your lane. For one, this isn't an easy business. You know, it's easy till it's not. You know, when you're doing 10, 15, 20 lawns a week, and you're doing it on the side, or maybe you've got plenty of money and all you need is 10 or 15 or 20 lawns a week to get by. But when that's your situation, yeah, it's pretty easy like that. And but once you get to a point where you're depending on lawn and landscape every week to be able to pay your bills, it's not easy at that point. It's not. It's when you're depending on lawn and landscape every single week, it's not easy at that point. But my boy was trying to come over here and aggravate me. But when you're depending on lawn and landscape to pay your bills and pay your help and your livelihood and all that good stuff, when you're actually depending on it, your livelihood is depending on it, your family is depending on it, at that point it's not easy. Especially when you're out here putting in the work. You know, it may get a little easier. I don't know this from experience. I don't know. So I can't speak to this. But maybe when you get to the point where you can step away from the business and let it run itself, it may get a little bit easier at that point. But when you're out here doing it every single day, that's not easy. When you're having to replace spindles and blades because you have an employee that has turned your mower into a stump grinder, when you're having to replace belts when you're having to plug tires every single morning, when you're having to do trailer repairs, replace axles on your trailers, when you've got an employee sitting in the truck complaining about it being hot when it's only 80 degrees, and you got Miss Jones down the street pissed off because you missed one pine cone in her yard, and you're trying to explain to her that that pine cone probably fell after you left, and she ain't trying to hear it. When it gets to that point, it's not easy, guys. 105 degrees, 106 degrees, that's what it was last Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday, one of the two. It's not easy at that point. Yeah, it's an easy business to get started in, low overhead, all that good stuff, but that doesn't make it easy. But at the same time, if you're a 20-year vet in lawn and landscape, and you've got $180,000 worth of equipment that you can be doing all kinds of work with, but you're only making $200,000 a year, that doesn't really give you the credentials to call somebody else a scrub because they're new, or saying that they don't know what they're talking about, or saying that people need to be following your advice just because you've been doing it for 20 years. Got news for you, man. If you've been doing this for 20 years and you only making $200,000, that's not my idea of success. I know people that's making that and they've only been doing it for 4 or 5 years. So you've been doing it for 20 years, man. You should be well beyond that. Well beyond that. But hey, everybody's idea of success is different. And I'm not saying that $200,000 isn't a lot of money, because it definitely is a lot of money. But for somebody that's been doing it for 20 years, after you pay all your overhead and your taxes and everything else, you know, $200,000 doesn't go as far as people think it does. But yeah, but I say all that to say, be careful who you listen to out here in YouTube land, man. You know, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything there is to know by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm not telling any of you guys to take any of my advice. I'm just putting out here things that have worked for me. It may work for you, it may not work for you. But you can't listen to everything you hear out here, guys. That goes without saying. And if somebody new that's only been doing it for a few months, only has 15 or 20 lawns, that right there should be a red flag. You know you're not going to be listening to that guy for advice. But at the same time, you can't knock the guy for trying to get his name out there in YouTube and trying to have his little YouTube side hustle going on. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Just don't listen to his advice. Take it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, don't listen to the 20-year vet that's sitting over here bad-mouthing somebody else when this guy can't even put a sentence together. So you got to pick and choose who you listen to, vet everything, and the best way to learn is just get out here and do it, man. You know, experiment with some things. Be open to suggestions no matter how long you've been doing it, no matter how much money you're making. Always be willing to learn and be open to suggestions. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. It's about 10:15. I've been on here quite a bit, quite a while now. Just catching up, man, because I ain't been on here in a few days, and I really wanted to get on here and just rant for a minute, I guess you could say. Bitch and moan is what my daddy used to call it. But yeah. But hey, man, I'm gonna hop off here. Hope all y'all guys are crushing it out there. I really do. Hope y'all are staying cool. Hope you're staying dry. And I hope you're staying hydrated, man. Y'all be safe out there. It's very hot. It's that time of year. It's July. And look, man, if I don't see y'all before Friday, man, y'all have a happy 4th of July. And y'all be safe out there. Hey, till the next one, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.